Hello, I'm TC,
I'm JJ.
And I'm Toy Story.
and this is the Geek Beat, presented by the Long Island Comic Guys. For the latest news, I'm turning it over to Toy Story.
That was beautiful.
Wow.
Just channeling my inner Walter Cronkite.
I love it. All right, let's dive right into it, guys.
Be quick because Master of the Universe is last, and I'm spending the full 20 minutes.
You got it. So on the most recent episode of the D23 Inside Disney podcast, Kevin Feige was talking about how he and Marvel had a big meeting to go over the MCU's rules of the multiverse. Because we know the multiverse is going to be a huge thing coming up after everything that happened in Loki and what's coming up with Doctor Strange. So they had a really big meeting apparently to go over like the rules and stuff. So that should be really interesting to see like what they developed there.
I got an email about buying tickets to the D23 event in November, and I asked Steph, and she said absolutely not. I hope there's not a really cool variant this year. That's cool though. I feel like, I'm glad they did something like that, and that's always been like their just strength, and I'm sure you'll hear it from us a lot, is just getting everyone on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone who's going to be involved in the movie, they need something, like when you're doing something on this freaking, size or this level, like you can't just like, all right, everyone, let's just figure it out as we go along. Because, there's people sitting at home, like with nothing better to do than tear apart freaking movies.
Yeah. And
basically
I think,
the opposite of what happened with Star Wars.
and I think we'll talk about this at some point in our lives, but this is where they get it right. As in the whole DC universe.
We're not talking about them. This is MCU. We'll see.
That's DC universe. Yeah, the MCU universe. Sorry.
What do you mean they haven't got it?
They do get it right. They get it right. They get it right.
You're confusing me. Like they're finally going to get it right.
No.
I think they've been doing pretty good.
Yeah, they've been doing good. I mean, yeah.
I get what you're saying. You're saying this is like one of the reasons why they get it right.
Right.
Oh yeah. The planning's super important, and I'm happy to hear that they're doing this. I mean, I think they've done this stuff like this in the past. They must have with how cohesive everything's been up till this point, So very important. Star Wars, listen up. But moving on. So a little more Marvel news in the Lego world for you Lego fanatics like me and JJ. So new Lego Marvel minifigures have been announced with like every character that exists in the MCU right now. They're going to be releasing these figures.
I love these little packets of figures. You can just buy the figures.
Dude, when I was a kid, I wanted that so bad. I bought the sets just for the figures, and now you can buy the figures.
So what's cool about this is you get everything from Loki to the What If series, which it's not even out yet. Now we're getting figures. Falcon and the Snowman, Winter Soldier Snowman. Jesus.
Snowman.
That's a movie. Falcon and the Snowman. It's a movie. Great movie. If you want to check it out, check it out. And WandaVision. I'm excited for the What Ifs because you get Captain Carter, which is pretty cool. She's in her Captain Britain outfit, which looks pretty cool.
Oh, nice.
And then they've got the Zombie Hunter Spider-Man, which is pretty cool looking too. So check it out. We'll probably post some pictures of what some of these look like.
Quick cut off there, and I know it's not on our list, but have you guys been seeing like the B variants? They've been doing like everyone in like the Captain America outfits so far.
Oh, really?
Like
I haven't seen that.
Oh, they've been really good so far. I got like the Spider-Woman, the Miles.
I got the Miles.
I think the Black Widow one I put on my pull list is really nice.
Very nice.
Pretty cool.
Well, I might buy every single one of these damn Legos.
It's quite amazing. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's about 15 of them?
Oh, I'm sure there's gonna be more too.
So pretty cool. Pretty cool.
All right, next up in Marvel. So there's multiple rumors circulating right now that suggest that Charlie Cox's Daredevil could not only appear in Spider-Man, which, by the way, is still unconfirmed, but multiple Phase 4 movies that are coming out soon. So I'm really hoping we could see him again.
Yeah, I mean, I think aside from that, so I kind of deep dove into this one. So they're saying that there's a very high chance we'll see him in She-Hulk, which really makes the most sense. I mean, she's a lawyer, he's a lawyer. And then also there's talk about him being in Hawkeye because another rumor that a character from Daredevil is going to appear is Vincent D'Onofrio. So D'Onofrio's being said to be one of the things. And again, this is unconfirmed. It's, what people are saying, leaking. Who knows if it's true? Who knows if it's not? But if it is, if we see the Kingpin, it makes sense that we would also see Daredevil in that too. And they're saying and beyond. So
he's my favorite on-screen villain I've seen. Still, his Kingpin. I love him so much.
From the Netflix stuff, or
just in general, my favorite.
I don't know if I can agree with that.
I know. We've had this discussion before, but
I mean, he's good. He's just not that good. I mean, he's not Loki good.
Well, that's a Loki discussion. Loki's are not really a villain, though.
Is he though?
Is he? That could be a whole nother episode.
Yeah. Let's write that down. We'll plan for that another day.
You guys are gonna see that one soon.
But yeah, so a lot of news. Hopefully, we're gonna get some inkling of what's going on with Spider-Man soon. Mm-hmm. I don't know when they're waiting for. Maybe it can't be D23. That's in November. And isn't this movie coming out in December?
December, yeah. We haven't gotten anything yet.
This is strange, right? Is it just?
It's a little weird, yeah. I thought for sure they'd release a trailer right after Loki ended.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll see.
These, you gotta love these little shows like this on Disney Plus because again, it's gonna go back to connecting everything, and might as well bring in the whole Daredevil stuff from Netflix. I mean, that'd be great.
I think the only characters that they've said they've been flirting with bringing in has been his character and John Berthenol's Punisher. I think the rest of those guys are not slated to join. So at least at this point. Mm-hmm. But okay, cool.
We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Next up, a little Star Wars news. So a new San Diego Comic-Con poster has been making the rounds online. I think you guys have seen. It shows Luke Skywalker training Grogu as a Jedi. It's just the two of them on the poster. So this was an officially licensed poster that came out, which this is a scene we've never seen before. So,
and it's amazing. It's done by Russell Walks. He did the poster, and I think it's titled "Size Matters Not." But it's Grogu building up his lightsaber with the yellow crystal. We're getting another yellow lightsaber, and I think I've been seeing some articles being posted lately about the next Mandalorian 3, maybe, or not even Mandalorian, but there's going to be maybe another show bringing in Grogu. Maybe we're going to see some Luke Skywalker, a young Luke Skywalker, and him being trained. We'll see.
Maybe.
But heavy rumorville right now.
I'm going to segue that. That's a good segue into one of the next points about Luke Skywalker. So this news broke this week too. So Lucasfilm has hired a VFX YouTuber who goes by the name Shamook. He created a video a couple months ago. He did this deep fake of Luke Skywalker at the end of The Mandalorian. So he totally redid it because I guess he was unhappy with what Disney did.
Yeah, and I remember you talking about this a while back.
He did this deep fake, and they hired him for their VFX department, Industrial Light and Magic. That was confirmed this week. It's crazy. So
they know a good thing when they see it.
That video had like 2 million views. So someone must have seen and taken note.
I love to hear stuff like that, where it's just like, hey, like if you, I love when like studios say, like, hey, if you don't like it, why don't you do something better? This guy did something better. It's like, cool, you're hired.
Yeah, right.
And think about this. Here we've got a company, who's worth billions of dollars, putting out this video, putting out this show with a half-ass maybe Luke Skywalker, but then you got somebody working out of their house who does even better.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's, I don't think it was necessarily bad. I don't think I wouldn't say half-assed on it, but I mean, there's always somebody better out there, and sometimes they're not on.
And
your
if that's
team.
what this guy did, just from his room, imagine what he could do with Disney resources.
Oh my God! Whew.
Honestly, I think that's like a genius way to talent scout.
100%.
Yeah. And I'm gonna go off the beaten track here. I'm so sorry, Tess, but like, I don't know if you guys saw on Netflix the new. There's the TV show, the movies of the 80s or whatever it is. I forgot what the name of that show was. Where it shows the movies that made us. And there's a new
from the toys that made us people.
There's the new series out that just came out. I think it was this week. And one of the ones was Jurassic Park, and they talked about like the guy who created the dinosaurs. The wire frame, and nobody else could do that back in the day. Mm-hmm. And I mean, look at this guy coming in doing the same thing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah, I've got to get around to watching that. That's been
the whole series. Yeah, there's been I think 4 shows.
I heard the Jurassic Park one was really good.
Really, really good.
Nice.
All right, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. So a little more Star Wars. So this is more in Rumorville, so we're prefacing it with that. And I'm going to butcher this name, but I think we've talked about him before. So word on the street is that Mena Massoud
I think it's Mena Massoud.
And Lars Mikkelsen are rumored to be cast as Edward Ezra Bridger and Grand Admiral Thrawn for an upcoming series.
Ahsoka.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
And that's freaking awesome because I couldn't picture anybody else playing Thrawn with that voice from Rebels.
and he's the character, right? Who voices him?
Yep, he voices him in Rebels. So to get him live action is really cool.
I thought that his brother voiced him.
Mads Mikkelsen?
Yeah.
No, isn't Mads the guy who was in
Rogue One? Yeah.
Oh, was it Rogue One?
Yeah, he was in Rogue One, and his brother Lars. He's the guy with the big beard. So he voiced him in Rebels.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I mean, anything Star Wars, I'm so excited for all this, all of it. I can't get enough of it right now.
They've been doing the TV stuff so well. I mean, the Disney Plus stuff. I mean, as long as Dave Filoni's involved, I mean, he's like, and this is going to be something we're going to talk about in a future episode, but when you have like these geeky people who are so passionate about a subject, like in charge, like, I mean, Kevin Feige, like, he's got this image, like he must love these characters because you see him pulling like these characters out of like left field. And I'm sure that, there's the right people, being surrounded by them, but, just watching Dave Filoni, and I'm going to go back to this episode again from season 1, like the making of it, like to hear him talk about Star Wars, like that's the type of people you need involved when you're getting involved in a major project like this. Like, because you have to be very careful with nostalgia, and it's just something that people are very sensitive about, and they'll get up in arms real quickly if you screw it up. So,
yes.
Kudos to them for really crushing what they've been doing so far. I don't even know what we're talking about.
No, you said it really well. And I love seeing the castings like that where they get the voice actors to play live action. That's really cool.
Especially with a character like that, it works too, because they just throw a bunch of makeup on him and it'll look close enough anyway.
Yeah. So awesome to see that. Very excited. Now, moving into a little bit of DC news. So Leslie Grace, who is most recently famous for In the Heights, has been cast by Warner Brothers to play Barbara Gordon in the upcoming live-action solo film Batgirl, which will, by the way, premiere exclusively on HBO Max. They do not sponsor this video.
When I saw this, was the first time I didn't know that they were going to do a solo film of just Batgirl.
Mm-hmm. They've been talking about it forever.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those movies that I've been hearing about for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about a solo movie about her. I don't know.
It's just, again, I think something we'll go into later with. Okay, cool.
Yep.
I don't know who she is.
I doubt
I'm not a musical fan, so In the Heights wasn't going to be on my watch list.
I did see In the Heights. She's very good, but as good as some of these actors are, they can't make a bad movie, fantastic either. So they can only do so much.
Yeah. I won't get into it now, but yeah. what else do we got?
All right, next up. So Michael B. Jordan and his production company is currently developing a Superman series for HBO Max based on the Calvin Ellis.
Again, we're not sponsored by HBO Max,
but we would love to be. So reach it if anybody from HBO is listening to this. So it's gonna be based on the Calvin Ellis and Val Zod version of Superman, and there's no word yet on whether Jordan will also star in it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people are saying he should at least star in it. I mean, now that we've gone into a second character, I just don't understand what they're doing. Like I don't understand why they're so anti-connectivity. I think these solo things just confuse people more than they entertain at this point. Like, if you want to do these separate things, keep them to television, like real television outside of HBO Max, or do like animated series. It's just, I don't know. It just seems like a cheap money grab if they're not going to connect it. If they are, that's great. Like, I can't wait to see it, but I just don't.
I have doubts about whether or not they're going to.
What's that?
I have doubts about whether they're going to connect everything.
I do too. That's my concern.
We'll see.
I got nothing on that one.
All right, so we'll move on to a little more DC. So the Batfleck version of Batman was spotted on the set of the new Flash movie, apparently. Who JJ, you want to talk a little bit
No,
about this one?
I actually
Go ahead.
added this, so,
Oh, you did,
I'll
okay.
talk about it. So the identity of whoever it wasn't confirmed. I mean, it's not.
But it was his
looked
suit?
like the Batfleck version. It was on like a motorcycle. I mean, it was clearly not the, Michael Keaton version of him. I mean, I can't imagine it would be. Maybe it is, but I highly doubt it. So we'll see.
Did you see that video?
I saw it. Yeah, it was like
Okay.
very hard to see, and then I saw some close-up photos.
Yeah.
And my money would be on it's definitely not Ben Affleck.
No.
If it is supposed to be him, it's definitely a stunt double. So I don't know if that means he is, or I don't know if that means Ben Affleck's not going to be in it or not. But
It looked like a bigger Batman. A bigger Batman. I mean, he had girth to him.
He had girth.
And the bike was interesting looking. I mean, it's not a bike we've ever seen before.
No, I mean, like it looks like it could go with like the Ben Affleck style of like vehicles and stuff like that. So I don't know. Like, I mean, it seems really cool. I think, again, you're going to hear this from us a lot. I think this Flash movie and maybe a couple others is what may actually salvage the DC extended universe or whatever the heck they call it. But it's news, and we're telling you about it, and we don't really know much more than that, or we would have told you.
Yep.
Alrighty, moving on. So a little bit of news in the video game world. So a live-action Pokemon series is currently in the works at Netflix, akin to Detective Pikachu, which I freaking loved. So I'm very excited for this.
I'm excited for this.
I grew up with Pokemon games, so.
I didn't, but I love this movie. The movie was great. I mean, it was fun for the kids, but I'm excited for a live action. I mean, I like the cartoons too. They're actually fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. TC, you have a lot to say about Pokemon. Come on.
Gotta catch them all.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm excited about this. I don't know why they haven't done live action Pokemon stuff sooner, honestly. They've been doing the cartoons forever. But,
yeah. I don't know. It looks fun.
Yeah. And then a little bit, not geek related, but one of my favorite shows that I've watched ever.
I think it's close enough.
Yeah, Dexter New Blood is the name of the Dexter revival, which is going to be a continuation of the original series. We just got a trailer this past weekend. First trailer of it. Looks really cool, and it's premiering on November 7th, for those of you that didn't know.
Okay.
Yep. It looked really good.
You watched the whole thing, right?
Yes, I did. I finally went back and watched like the last season, which for a while I didn't. I was like, I think I watched halfway through the last season, and I was just like, I'm good. And then I just finished it because I was like, I have to.
Did you hate it as much as you thought you would?
It wasn't that I hated it. It was just.
I don't think I hated it either. It was mediocre.
Yeah, like that's what it is. I mean, the problem with Dexter in general was after the John Lithgow season, it was like one of those shows where they didn't really know where they wanted to go, or at least it seemed that way to me, like where they wanted to go with the show next. It's hard, like when you have like a show like that where you have different themed seasons.
Yeah,
and it's just like I think when you hit like a peak, like you did with like the John Lithgow season, I forgot what he was called, and it's just like Trinity Killer. Yeah, it's like you just kind of there's nowhere to go but down, and it's just no fault to anyone else's. It's
yeah,
just,
of course.
Peak too soon.
Yeah, I know.
But I mean that happens a lot.
Yeah, I mean I'm really excited. This was actually my first favorite TV show that I watched.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for this.
My cousin, I remember, was watching it as it came out. Steph and I probably caught up on it like by the time they were into season 3 or 4. So I think it was like we caught up probably during John Lithgow and then came back like live for like the 5th season, and it was just like, oh, that was a letdown.
Yeah, but we'll see. I'm very excited. Clancy Brown villain. That's freaking. Oh my god.
Oh, is he the main one?
Yeah, he's the main guy. So.
I like him. He's always a good villain.
Yeah. All right.
Imagine if they cross over and he's a Highlander.
Oh, there can only be one.
Oh my god. All right, so next up we got a Ghostbusters Afterlife trailer.
Yes.
Another one? I missed this one.
So there's a new Ghostbusters coming out. So I think the other one's just a solo movie, the girl one. I don't know anything about it. I never saw that one. This one is being directed by Ivan Reitman's son, Jason. It's starring Paul Rudd, the like gangly kid who is dating Seven in I don't know what his name is in Stranger Things, a girl that I don't recognize. A lot of like fresh faces. It looks pretty interesting. Apparently, the girl and the kid from Stranger Things are the grandkids of Egon. Egon's character, I forgot. Oh man, I'm really embarrassed right now that I can't remember his name. But yeah, and they're like out in the middle of the woods somewhere. Paul Rudd seems like he might be a teacher or something. It looks cool. I know for at least one person is confirmed to be in it because they kind of tease him right at the end, and they call up like Dan Aykroyd's character, and he picks up the phone. So this isn't going to be like a joke movie like the other one was. I think this has. I mean, there's going to be a comedy tone to it.
What other one are you talking about?
What's that?
What other one are you talking about?
There was a girls' Ghostbuster movie.
Oh, I didn't even watch that one. Oh, I got you.
Melissa McCarthy and all that.
Yeah, I don't even count that.
It was a real like spark. What is it called?
That's the one with the Thor guy in it, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, I don't even count that. That's not a Ghostbuster movie.
Yeah, but this one is supposed to be in line with the original.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Like in continuity.
All right.
And it's being done by the son of the original creators.
All right. I was a little confused there.
It looked pretty good. I saw Bojo's text about it, but because he never responds to my text, I didn't give him my thoughts on it.
Now, this movie was supposed to be out like 2 years ago, right?
I don't think it was that long ago. I think it was slated for this year release. So now it's getting pushed. I think it was supposed to be early this year, and it's got pushed to Thanksgiving. So it's on Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Awesome. All right, the last two things I'm not going to talk about, so I'm going to turn that over.
All right, so I don't know if you guys watched Turner and Hooch on Disney Plus. Again, they also don't sponsor us, but we're willing to talk if you're interested in Disney Plus. It was okay, you know.
Is that the one with Josh Peck?
Yeah, so it's so funny because I remember my brother used to watch. Was it Drake and Josh or something?
Yeah, that was my show.
And he was always like the fat kid in it.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh crap, this guy's fit now.
Yeah.
Before. He's not a great actor, but it's a cute show. I watched it with my daughter. I figured she'd like it because it was a dog. I think he's supposed to be like Tom Hanks' son, who they conveniently kill in the first episode because they'll never get Tom Hanks to do something like that. But it was cool. Well, they don't kill him. They say he died, kind of thing. So it's all right. It's a cute family show. It seems like, you know,
I saw the trailer, and the first thing I thought about was I was watching like an episode of Full House. You know what I mean? Like it was weird.
You know, it was surprisingly like there was a couple like gunfights and shootouts, so it wasn't like super like kiddie, but it was like, you know, it had like a feel. It had like a sitcom kind of feel for sure. But that was that. I think if you have young kids and you wanted to try something new with them, I would definitely recommend that. A good family show. So now we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about, and I do want to get some of your thoughts because I know you watched it, JJ. I know you didn't see a Toy Story because you don't watch good stuff. But Master Universe Revelations. Yeah, so it hit Netflix. So I have a little bit more information. So I probably would have had a little bit of a different thing to say if I hadn't recently watched Kevin Smith's Fat Man Beyond podcast on it, because he did something and he kind of addressed a lot of issues. So there's only 5 episodes. It was initially slated for all 10 episodes to be released for season 1. They kind of split it out.
Oh,
so yeah, and I think he's like, people would probably be a little less angry for me if they didn't do that. He goes, but I think it was a good idea. It ends like on a cliffhanger. I was like, sure. JJ, let me get your thoughts. Like what did you think?
I liked it. I love the animation on it. The voices were unbelievable to the characters.
I liked most of them.
I liked them all. I didn't like that there was not enough He-Man and Skeletor. I mean, you see him in the first episode, you see him in the last episode. I thought it was a little, I don't know. It really focused on Tila. I think that's where it was driven at. I didn't watch this show that you saw his thing, so I don't know any better. I love the animation in it. It was that was probably my most favorite thing about it was the animation of each character. The story was decent. I liked the story too. I had nothing wrong with it. And I watched the original as a kid. I'm not gonna say I watched every single one as a kid.
Yeah.
I didn't know, back in the 80s when we were watching cartoons, cartoons didn't have a flow to it. It was just kind of like, apparently I just recently found out that, Masters Universe had a flow to it. I didn't know that.
No, it didn't. Nope. It did not. No.
Well, why is this one picking up after that one then?
So I think they're taking elements from it that weren't organized in a story, and I think they're kind of running from it there. So there was, and that was the problem, and not just them. I think maybe Thundercats did a little better job of this. But,
yes.
But them for sure, where it was just self-contained episodes where you got something cool and then bam, you wouldn't move on to something again like that. So I'm just going to let you know. So if you haven't watched it yet, if you want to watch it, if you don't want to be spoiled about anything, you don't know anything about Master Universe, I would say just stop right here.
Thanks for listening. Have a good night.
If you're upset about stuff, I may be addressing some of the things you're upset about. And if you want to keep listening, listen. So first of all, I know that with anything like this, it gets politicized. So I won't get into that. He said that this was going to focus on Tila and for a little part of it. And everyone, I think, thinks that, we're killing off He-Man and she's going to become He-Man or something like that. That's not what's going to happen at all. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen, JJ. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling this.
No, it's all right. I didn't think that He-Man was ever going to die. Or
no, I mean, they have toys to sell. You think Mattel's crazy?
Yeah.
So she's the daughter of the sorceress. That was touched upon in this show. It's already been spoken about in the original show. She's going to be the next sorceress. This sorceress is going to die. She's going to become some iteration of that. So she needed to get built up. And so I'm going to drop her name a few times. She's called Legita on Instagram. She's a friend of ours, Lisa. She's a huge Master Universe fan. She didn't like Tila. She actually liked the show. She loved Eva Lynn and Man at Arms, who I thought were awesome as well. I didn't think Tila was bad. I think the problem is if you go back and watch the original stuff, Tila is so much worse than the original. She's always she's a badass warrior. She's a great fighter. She's captain of the guard, but she's very whiny and complainy in the show. She's not like that. I don't get that from her at all. I think Sarah Michelle Gellar did a great job with her hair. I don't know. One of the things that did bother me, I don't know why everyone who's a super powerful warrior girl has to shave off half their head. But that's just me. Apparently, that's the thing. If you want to be a fighter, you have to shave off half your head now. You're a girl. But I think she did a great job. So what Kevin Smith says, and he says this really, he goes, just wait for episode 6 and 7. He goes, people who are saying I killed off He-Man, I emasculated He-Man, is wait for episode 6 and 7. He basically said he tells you that He-Man's not dead, basically. And he also alludes to the fact that if you missed Orko's not dead either. So, the people who are losing their mind from a cartoon character dying in a show, I mean, has nobody ever read comics or, watched shows like this before? Nobody ever stays dead in sci-fi and fantasy. It just doesn't happen.
I didn't know there was an issue. People were having an issue with this.
Yeah, I think people were very complaining. I mean, one of my main things was I thought it was good. It was I would have loved if He-Man was in it, but it's okay. We'll see what happens. So basically, episode 6 and 7 specifically, there's a massive battle that he said it doesn't get as bloody and violent as the Invincible battle, between the father and son, which I haven't seen, but I've seen memes of it. He goes, but it's probably the closest thing to it that you've seen in animation. I was okay. So listen, I mean, some of the voices, it was hard a little bit to get past Mark Hamill's Joker when I heard Skeletor. He tried to change it a little bit, but there was times where I just see the Joker face when he's talking, which is fine.
Yeah.
Another problem, and I'm sorry to be attacking the Batman classics, is I did not like Kevin Conroy's Merman at all. It sounded just like it just sounded just like Batman. Yeah. I was like, Merman's supposed to have like this likeness to his voice, and it's just like he goes, "I stole the key." I was like, he didn't have anything like that. I was like, cool, he's playing Merman as Bruce Wayne.
I got you on that one.
Thanks for kind of writing. Everyone else I thought was pretty good. I didn't particularly love Cringer. I watched the thing with the guy doing Orko. I think Orko was good. I mean, again, like I'm gonna agree with Lisa. Lena Headey is absolutely fantastic.
Awesome.
The other guy, is it Colin something who's doing Man at Arms? He's also fantastic. I think he's also the narrator as well.
And he's Game of Thrones also.
Yes, and there's a ton of Easter eggs. I mean, like someone other than Die Hard would miss out on them, but like the opening credit thing, it takes like the opening from like the original movie, like the 87 movie, the power to be controlled, to be mastered. Like that's word for word what they say in the beginning of the 87. There's a scene where they're using like this tracking device that she makes straight pull from the 87 movie. I mean, there's so many characters. Stinkor, he never made it to animation before. Like they were like, Mattel was like, absolutely not. He's not a toy. We're pushing into the cartoon, and they put him into the cartoon. So there's so many like things that were treats kind of for the fans. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you, for the 5 episodes, yeah, I give it a 7 out of like 10, just because Teal is great and everything, but He-Man's my guy. So like I'll regrade it when I get the next 5 episodes. Hopefully it leads to more. But it was really good. I think it set it up. I don't like this going super scrawny with Adam thing. I know like you have to have a huge transformation for Adam to He-Man, but I feel like they made him a little too young as Adam. But just some small stickler points there for me. But a good show. I'm really happy that, again, like anyone who noticed it and there's a fan, Mossman, they threw in Alan Oppenheimer, who was the original voice for Skeletor and Man at Arms.
I wish he had a little more playtime.
I mean, listen, there's 5 more episodes. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw all those guys from Preternia show up on Earth at some point. I mean, if you're thinking future seasons too, and this is like how I get like my wheels turning, is just like, all right, Skeletor season 1, you have to step it up. Hordak season 2, you got to bring in She-Ra season 2, or maybe season 3. So if the next 5 episodes go well, and I think there's a lot of people who are positive about this too, and I'm really bad with the nostalgia and like keeping an open mind when it comes to stuff as well. So I was like, listen, like I'm going to go in. I was like, yes, I liked it. I was like, I want to see more. And then I'll kind of like make my final, ultimate decision on whether I liked it or not. But so far I liked it for what it was. And, I like that they're, moving the story along, and, they revitalized it. I mean, like I said on our post, is like, we could have no He-Man, and that would be terrible. So I got to watch this, rewatched it because she didn't want to watch it the first time. But I've watched up to 5 episodes. She has to watch the 6th one at this point. But I've watched it with my daughter, and that's like the most amazing thing to me. Like if my daughter can look back, and even if she doesn't like He-Man or whatever, when she gets older, she'll always have like that link to me in it. So it was something that we got to share together, and that was really special for me to just. I mean, I just gave her a Battle Cat today because she's been harassing me for a Battle Cat for like 2 months now, and like I just had to order it because I couldn't find them in the goddamn store. But it's
getting emotional, man.
Yeah, it's really great. It's
good.
I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed it, and I'm hoping to really, really enjoy it in the next 5 episodes.
Nice.
All right. Well, that was it. I think we did this a little longer than normal, but hey, when you bring in something from my childhood that like brought me into this entire world of geekdom, you're lucky I kept it as short as I did. To be honest with you. Well, that's the Geek Beat for the week, right? I'm TC.
I'm JJ.
I'm Toy Story.
And thanks for geeking out with us.